Savages. Hello, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Asana Sophia, and I bring awareness and acceptance to the gray areas of being human so that we can learn to love ourselves for who we are, where we are, and as we are. Guys, I know I've been so MIA lately. I think the last time I made a video was for Spiritual Sunday last week, and I didn't post it until Tuesday. I explained in my last video in the description why that happened. I was in Vermont, and I didn't have any service. When I got back from my trip, I received some messages that were completely unexpected, completely caught me off guard. Like if I were about to walk on a paved bridge, and then as I take my first step onto the bridge, it turns into a tightrope type caught off guard. Now, is it just me, or have you had a lot of shit going on this week too? Because after talking to some of you guys and friends and families, I can feel that this is pretty universal for everyone this week. I feel like I've just been shoveling shit all week. I mean, I'm definitely aware of the fact that I'm the shovel and I am also the person holding the shovel, so I'm technically doing this to myself. I'm technically the one that's choosing to shovel the shit. But we're only human, right? We all struggle with perspective and the way that we view things in our lives, especially ourselves for that matter, and the people around us. I know how important it is to gain the perspective that life doesn't happen to us, it happens for us. But this last week, I struggled with this. I had a really hard time. I let my ego get the best of me, and I allowed myself to be a major target for everybody else's bullshit in my life. But I know this isn't who I am at the core, just like that's not who you are at the core. So I did what I always do when I'm stressed. My #1 cure for stress:
space.
So I gave myself space, I listened to my body, I listened to my mind, and I listened to what I needed, and here we are, we're back. But enough of that.
Let's get to the juice.
So I'm going to be sharing with you the messages that I received this past week. These messages were from my father. Before I dive into this very interesting topic, I don't want you to think that I'm looking for attention. I don't want you to think that I'm looking for you to feel sorry for me. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. There's nothing to feel sorry about. I have felt sorry enough for myself in my life, and I wish I had done it a lot less. If you take anything from this video, let it be confirmation that no matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter what you are doing in your life at this moment, you are exactly where you are meant to be. You are exactly where it is necessary for you to be right now. And the knowledge and strength you hold is power. Even just getting out of bed at the right time for you in the morning, that is power. That is power that can be built upon, and that is power that
grows.
Let this video remind you to never let anybody tell you how to live your life, and never let anybody criticize you for how you're living your life. Not even your inner ego, not even your inner critic, none of those things. Like, don't let anybody tell you who you are. Only you know who you are. I made this video for those of you out there who still care about what other people think of you. For those of you who want to be accepted by somebody or a group of people who don't even see you. It's for those of you who struggle to accept every version of you in every moment that ever existed. Let this video remind you to never let anybody tell you how to live your life, tell you who you are, tell you what you're doing is right or wrong.
Let's get to those text messages.
Now, I say this in the nicest way possible, but my dad is that piece of gold covered in shit. A little background on us: we don't have that great of a relationship. Recently, our relationship's actually grown pretty well. So I would say that our relationship has grown a lot recently, but over the years, it's pretty much been an on-again, off-again relationship. He's clearly a follower of Islam. When I was little, my father left my American mother, so I was solely raised by my American mother, who is Catholic. They separated for whatever reason. I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not here to bash my dad. I idolize my dad, and I put him in a conditioned position in my life that put him on a high pedestal where he shouldn't have been. Parents are a really weird thing when you think about it. So many of us with absent parents looking for this image of a perfect parent-child relationship that doesn't currently exist in our physical world. Or even for those of us who have a parent who's been in our lives for every moment of it. There's this attachment that we form with our parents that we've been conditioned to form. However, from a strictly physical perspective, parents are just the physical vessel into this world, into this life that we live today. Think about our evolution as humans.
Back in the day,
Midwives, they were the ones that took care of the babies. And the parents, they went off and they supported the livelihood of their children and their families. Even with animals, the emotions behind the relationship is not so evident as it is with us humans today. I can't imagine that a papa bear would disown their kid for not following the same religion as them and then, tell them to go off into the wild on their own. From a feelings and emotional perspective, we come from generations of this primal, unattached parent-child relationship. But now we form lifelong social friendships with our parents. They no longer represent just a vessel. Take my awesome mom, for example. I went through a stage of being attached to her, to not being attached to her at all, from being completely detached from her, and now she is the best friend that I could have ever been blessed with in my life. Anyway, back to my dad. So I had this conditioned image of the perfect relationship with him that didn't really exist. I allowed society to influence my internal dialogue, and I focused on the absence of my father in my life, as opposed to focusing on what was already present in my life. I viewed it as a handicap because everyone in my life, or at least in my head, it seemed that everybody had a dad except me. The reality, though, is that obviously that's not the case. My father played the exact role that was necessary for him to play in my life so I could create this badass of a human. I feel so carefree. I can do anything a man or any other human can do. I am beautiful and I deserve respect, love, and acceptance, whether I look like this or this. I've learned to build my life around joy, peace, and gratitude in every single moment. I feel infinite, unlimited, and like I have no ceilings. And I am all of these things because my father taught me the opposite of what all of this feels like. I have everything that I will ever need. I always have. I just changed my seat and have a better perspective now. I spent many years listening to this man tell me how to feel, how to dress, how to talk, how to carry myself,
how to live, how to be happy,
how I can always be better than I already am. And I abused myself by allowing myself to accept his words as my own. Throughout my life, I went on to do this with friends, families, and even strangers. I grew very critical of myself, and it got to the point where I didn't even feel like myself anymore. I didn't even know who I was, or at least I didn't like who I became. I've cut these strings though, and I love the me that I am today. And I will continue to love her until I transcend this beautiful life. So thanks, Dad, for teaching me to love me no matter what season I am in, no matter how I look, think, speak, or feel, no matter how I am, who I am, or where I am. Oh wait.
I'm doing it again.
Putting you on a pedestal you don't belong on. Because let's be real, you didn't teach me any of that. I did. You were only a vessel to this awareness that was already within me. And you don't deserve any credit for that. Also, I get why my father made the choice that he did. For some people, their faith isn't strong enough to let others in. Some people have to contain their faith. I'm assuming that's why he taught me to limit myself, to put myself in a box when this life has been created to exceed limits. And so many people have these beliefs. These are the kind of beliefs that we don't need. These are the kind of beliefs that we need to transcend. Faith should not be put in a box. It should not be confined to the walls of a church or a mosque. We shouldn't only choose to help people who are like us or who share our similar knowledge and experience. How are we ever supposed to grow if we keep learning from the same things we already know? We shouldn't only choose to help people with the same religious beliefs or the same morals as our own. Faith is not a God. Faith is how your higher power or your God presents itself in your life. For me, I find faith in the wind. I find faith in the air. I find faith in nature. I find faith in a long drive. I find faith in a good conversation with a friend after I've taken in so much and just need to blurt it all out. I find faith in exceeding my own limits and breaking my own limitations. And that's how faith should be taught. That life and we are the church. And that faith, guidance, and love can be found everywhere. I'm very grateful for the life that I choose to live. Life feels so stress-free and so joyful when we learn to accept ourselves, and we practice acceptance of others. So to put this into practice, I accept that my father must live his life the way that feels necessary for him in order to avoid disturbing his internal peace. However, for all of you, my spiritual savages, I challenge you all to discover this life-changing growth you can receive from challenging your conditioned belief systems. The next time you limit yourself, or you find yourself limiting your person, or maybe you even just judge yourself, ask yourself why. Ask this internal dialogue, why am I doing this? Where did this come from? Where did I pick this up from? We are humans and we are designed to exceed every limit possible. How are you limiting yourself in your life? Cosmic peace and love, my friends. Until next time.